South Africa has one of the highest occurrences of organ failure in Africa, with a lack of organ donor continuing to be a major factor. Several factors such as cultural belief, racial issues, as well as superstitions influence masses towards donations. Now, the executive director of the Organ Donor Foundation, Samantha Folshank, joins us from our Cape Town studio to talk to us on issues related to organ donating. Good to have you on the program, Samantha. Thank you very much for being our guest.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Before we get into this discussion, I think last week was a very sad week for South Africa and for the Organ Donor Association. Jenna Lows, through her Get Me to 21 project, campaigned for organ donations. She passed away. What does this mean for you?
Well, you know, she was 20 years old, very young. I think a lot of people were empathetic, obviously, towards her cause. And she started this campaign with the help of an ad agency, Get Me to 21, and thousands of South Africans were signing up as organ donors. Obviously, in her death, we're very, very sad, but she's left a legacy. And we've seen in the past week that thousands more have signed up as a result.
Yeah.
And we hope this legacy continues to live on so that more people are encouraged to become organ donors.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that Jenna Lows did not die in vain. What she has done for organ donation, I suppose, has not been able to be achieved by many others.
Absolutely. But, you know, as I said, people continue to sign on and are empathetic because she's a young girl, and there are many patients like Jenna who are waiting for transplants at the moment, children who are waiting for transplants, very young, and many South Africans don't know this.
Yeah. You know, it's a very sensitive topic to talk about organ donation, especially when we live in a country where, you know, there are so many superstitions surrounding it. There are racial issues, there's cultural beliefs. Let's talk about these and perhaps maybe get rid of some of the myths. I mean, being an organ donor, what does it entail?
It's actually very simple. I think for most people it's a lack of education, not knowing what organ donation entails. And all you really need to do is discuss the decision with your family. Your family need to know so that they can convey the wish to the medical professionals. Many people think that it's quite a complicated process and you have to go for tests while you're alive, and there's nothing like that. All you need to do is indicate your wish with your family and obviously sign up as an organ donor with the Organ Donor Foundation. It costs nothing. It literally takes a minute or two of your time. That's all you need to do. No medical tests while you're alive.
Yeah. So once you have passed on, what happens to your body thereafter?
Okay, well, what really happens is there are two scenarios. One where you're brain dead on a ventilator. So you've, as an example, been in a car accident and you land up in a hospital, and two doctors who are independent of the transplant team have to perform these detailed brainstem death tests. Once they've done that, they then would call in the medical professionals on the transplant team or a transplant coordinator who would come and discuss the decision with your family. And then they would match you to, or match the donor to a suitable recipients throughout the country. They try to keep the kidneys within the province, but the heart, lungs, liver, and the other organs are normally or sometimes flown to other provinces where they're needed. So that's how it works. But always the discussion is had with the family. So, you know, if you're an organ donor, this is something that we promote, is tell your family, speak to your family, let them know your wishes.
How is it possible? I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, I don't even know if there's an accurate answer, or if you're the right person to answer, but how many organ donors, or how many South Africans have signed up for organ donors?
I can answer that question.
Oh, okay, good.
The organisation's been going for a number of years. We have about over 150,000 South Africans registered as organ donors, but our database is relatively new. So we know there are hundreds of thousands of South Africans that have indicated their wish, but are not necessarily on our database.
Okay, so as it stands right now, 150,000 South Africans are registered to be organ donors, but the people in need of organs, I imagine, far surpasses this.
Absolutely. We have about 4,300 adults and children awaiting organ transplants. We know that thousands more require transplants, but they don't make it onto the waiting list. It's very sad. In the government sector, there are not enough dialysis facilities. So dialysis facilities replace the function of your kidneys.
Yeah.
And we know that every week patients are sent home to die because there are not enough treatment facilities for patients.
Yeah. Samantha, I know this is a sensitive topic and we need to talk more about this, but we don't have time. So I'm going to give your website address out, www.odf.org.za. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Good. Find all the information there, please. If you can be an organ donor, if it's something that you have been even thinking about, get hold of them. They'll talk you through it and you'll be able to find out more information. That was the Executive Director of the Organ Donor Foundation, Samantha Folshank. Again, the website, www.odf.org.za. We'll see you after this.